Evolution starts from the spiritual falling into matter. That is one of the most important definitions of the fall of mankind, of every being, at the reawakening of the universe. Just depends how it left this state. And it will continue on that level. This is reincarnation of the universe as well as of its inhabitants. So the spiritual essence is the realm from which evolution starts, and that path continues down into matter. See, and then we have a rising again, the phoenix rises, the monad rises again towards divinity. That is evolution. Evolution is a spiritual process. Evolution is spirit evolving and developing in matter. Is it one monad or a monadic essence? A host, an army composed of individual monads passes into evolution. What happens during the higher states of evolution? One feels more and more at one with everyone else, with everything else. Evolution is when the hierarchy of the human being grows the self as its seed. How many evolutionary stages are there? 10. And on each of them, the traveling monads surround themselves with material vehicles, or rather first with immaterial compared to ours. Evolution always starts on the arupa plane. That plane is immaterial. How many immaterial planes are there? 3. Then ethereal until down to the physical. Does that count with or for all evolution beginning with the so-called Big Bang? Yes. Prior to our physical evolution, there was a transparent, etheric evolution. Same counts for the planet Earth and for all other planets, for that matter. So also concerning us, the 3 upper vehicles are made of light, which is arupa, compared to matter as we know it. Yes. Please explain evolution and its order. Step 1. The self, divine entity or monad, emanates, step 2, the ego, growing from within. 3. Ego throws out from itself its soul as garment. That garment is made of ether and astral, which are basically different states of ethereal vibration. Per se, there's nothing else but ether in the manifested world. Einstein said there is no ether because we don't need it. You see how seemingly intelligent people can say something very stupid. Because there's nothing but ether in different grades of density or vibration. So physical matter as we achieve it is nothing but ether in dense vibration and structure. And that there is other matter than the dense matter we can see when we have auric photography of the body. And you can stand the body, you can position it to a white wall, and if you're lucky, you can see the aura, if you are spiritually evolved. Now, is that what we call the soul of any man, that soul as garment, ethereal, astral? Yes. In that connection, yes. Man has many souls, and he has many egos. What is behind or back of them all? The deathless flame, the monad. What is svabhava in connection with evolution? Evolution brings out the svabhava, the latent capacities of the divine seed. the individual characteristics, the essence of the monad. What is the entire effort of evolution? It is not only to bring out what is within the monad, but also that the monad should gather up from the matter in which it works something else. It, so to speak, spiritualizes its sheath, its structure, the forms with which it surrounds itself. So then, when we become more spiritual, we spiritualize also the structure of our body, which would mean no alcohol, no smoking, vegetarian lifestyle. But since we are not all holy, neither me, we should try to live a middle path, to not exaggerate too much in order not to create too much bad karma for us and others. Other less progressed entities, gathering them so that they be part of the monad, the evolving monad. So this is why the monad gathers these beings like a teacher gathers his students or kids in school to teach them something. Same way. And carrying all of them along with the monad evolutionary up and back to the source, sooner or later. See the Book of Light as a divine monad, gathering us all back to the light. Thus, the goal of Manvantaric evolution is to raise the mortal into immortality. What are atoms? Atoms are emanations of the soul in which the soul encloses itself in order to evolve. Then what is the misunderstanding of science concerning evolution? Science limits evolution to the physical world. What is the vehicular side of the universe? The elements of cosmos. What do they form? They form the vehicular side or the three-bearer or carrier side. What forms the energy consciousness side? The principles. Instruction as to the cosmic planes. The cosmic planes are but the garment of the divine. Why are they so imperfect? Because built by imperfect evolving hierarchies. May be perfect in comparison to us, but in comparison to higher, they are imperfect. Everything that is in manifestation is basically in certain degrees or form of imperfection. Otherwise it wouldn't be there. Now you can imagine the perfection of Gautama Buddha. And if there are beings that have overcome, they come back out of compassion. Now Buddha left his bodhisattva, inspiring Jesus and other initiates, while the Buddha itself, the monad, is in nirvana. Is that what Goethe meant concerning that imperfection of the hierarchies, when he said, so to speak, talking as if he would be one of them? He writes, "Thus, at the roaring loom of time, I ply and weave for God the garment thou seest him by." So it is. Or, as Paul the Christian says, in it we live and move and have our being. And all of them mean Adam Kadmon. Now, was Paul an initiate? Yes. The true Paul? Yes. What are the elements of cosmos for the consciousness side? Now, they have 7 principles working through them. As to consciousness, the 7 are consciousness on one hand, vehicle on the other. And from the substantial side, force on one hand, matter on the other. Let us look at them in a diagram. 3 upper, then the archetypal, intellectual, astral, formative, and physical world. See them as rungs of a ladder, a diagram only symbolically. They are within each other. Then where is the most spiritual? It is the inmost. What is beyond the archetypal world? It is Laya, the nirvana of all things, lower than it. What springs from it? Cosmic seeds, sending forth hosts of hierarchical beings, emanating or bringing forth on the downward scale other lower hosts. How else could this be explained or represented? By a triangle. And below that triangle is a square, is a tetragrammaton. The four lower planes are the lower cosmic planes as explained.